This is my first video of 2022 and you had to wait 12 days for this, but the video is coming out right now to your screens wherever you are in the world. So as usual, if you're new to the channel and you don't know what I do, basically I'm going to do the team selection. I'm going to show you my goalkeeper, then my defence, then my midfield, then my forward line, and then run through my bench. And then yeah, but without further ado, let's get on with the video. So in goal for this week, I've gone with the Wolves keeper, Jose Sa. He has been one of the best signings in the Premier League this season, and Wolves have a pretty watertight defence. They don't concede too many goals. In their last 3 matches, they've kept 3 clean sheets. They've beaten Man United, they've drawn with Chelsea, they've beaten Brighton. Yes, they don't score too many goals, but Sa is the goalkeeper. He makes the important saves. He keeps them clean sheets, and they play Southampton next. And usually you would say, well, Southampton, they're not a great side. They didn't score too many goals, but they did just put 4 past Brentford, which is a pretty decent result for them. So they are probably going to be in a bit of a better form at the moment, but they do have to travel to the Molineux, which is quite a tough ground to go to. Not many teams score too many goals there. And yeah, it'll be a tough match for Southampton, so that's why I've gone with Sa in goal. And now we move on to my defence, and my first defender is Cancelo. So I've stuck with Cancelo pretty much all season. Well, actually, I don't think I've had him all season, but I've had him for quite a while now. He's a brilliant player. He can play left back. He can play right back. He can whip beautiful balls into the box. He can defend too, and he's playing in a high-flying Man City team. And yes, they do play Chelsea this weekend, but I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea don't score, because Chelsea haven't been that potent in front of goal recently. And also, Man City have a watertight defence. I think the best in the league as well. So you wouldn't put that past them for Man City to pick up all 3 points there, but hopefully they don't. And then the next 2 players are, well, go by the names of Johnson and Cucurella. So Ben Johnson, he plays for West Ham. Sadly, he, against Crystal Palace, played 45 minutes, was going to keep a clean sheet, but then he got substituted off at half-time and got me 0 points. But West Ham play tonight, so I've still got Johnson and Antonio to play tonight, so hopefully they can get me some points. But Johnson plays Leeds, and although Leeds aren't a bad side, they haven't been great this season. Like, obviously, they're missing a lot of injuries. A lot of their key players have been out, and they look like they're going to probably struggle to score against West Ham. That's what I'm trying to say. West Ham are a decent outfit. They're solid in defence. Leeds haven't scored too many goals this season, and hopefully Johnson will play and start. But worst comes to worst, I've got players on my bench to bring on. And now the final player on my defence goes by the name of Cucurella. So he's an absolutely brilliant talent. I brought him in last week, and yes, he didn't really do anything for me. He got me 1 point. Very disappointing, but I've watched Bruyne play quite a lot this season, and this man never fails to impress. He's constantly up and down the left flank. He can whip balls into the box. He passes the ball around. I wouldn't be surprised if he was in like a Pep Guardiola team in a couple of years, because he's that sort of player who's confident on the ball. He's quite quick as well, and he seems to have cemented his place at left back in that Brighton team, especially when he's come from a Spanish league, which is often like classed as quite an easy league, to come to the Premier League, which is a bit more physical, a bit more going on, more tougher matches. He's done really well, and he's got Chelsea at home and Crystal Palace at home in his next 2. Well, so he has a double game week. One of those fixtures will be hard, but Brighton did draw against Chelsea, and he got assist at Stamford Bridge, so you wouldn't put past him to do that again at the Amex. And then obviously he has Crystal Palace in there as well, who are sort of a hit and miss side. They do play well under Vieira, but they're still not quite the finished article. So yeah, that is my defence. Let's move on to the midfield. So the first player in my midfield is Conor Gallagher. So the Palace midfielder has been one of the best players in the Premier League this season, especially considering not much was expected of him. I'm not saying he was a rubbish player and nobody expected him to get goals and assists, but who thought he would have this great of a season? Vieira seems to have got Palace playing an attractive brand of football, and in their last 2 matches, they did score 3 against Norwich without him, but they did lose 3-2 to West Ham. And yeah, Palace probably need that man back in the side. He runs around all game, he'll make challenges, he presses, he scores goals, he gets assists. He literally does everything that Palace could want. So yeah, he's straight in my team. He plays Brighton, who are a decent side. They have a fairly watertight defence, but I expect a response from Palace. Yeah, after losing to West Ham, especially in the way they did. Yes, they got those 2 goals and almost clinched the point, but to go 3-0 down in the first half wasn't great for them. So I expect them to do well, and yeah, maybe they will pick up something against Brighton. But that is the advantage of having 2 players from 2 different teams but playing in the same match. So I got Cucurella and I got Gallagher. So let's say Cucurella, Brighton go keep a clean sheet. He gets me 7 points. And let's say Palace go and score. Hopefully Gallagher's involved, so he gets me points. So I basically get the best of both worlds. But what would really be great is a 3-3 draw, Gallagher hat-trick, Cucurella hat-trick. I would love that, but that's probably not going to happen. So the next player on my midfield is Bernardo Silva, and he's a man who I may be looking to get rid of soon. His form has sort of tailed off recently. Like in his last 5 matches, he's got 1 point, 2 point, 2 point, 3 points, 5 points, which isn't too great, considering before that, he got 6 points, 15 points, 10 points, 2 points, 8 points, 8 points. Like, he was getting loads of hauls. But yep, the moment I bring him in, guess what happens? He doesn't get goals or assists. But at least he's still playing. Pep Guardiola still seems to put him in the team quite regularly. He still seems to be playing regular football. But maybe now De Bruyne, who's the next player on my team, is back and in pretty much impeccable form at the moment. Bernardo Silva is almost taking that deeper role on the pitch, so it's almost, I don't know, it's limiting how much he gets forward, which obviously is going to affect his goal and assist output. But the man I was on about a minute ago, Kevin De Bruyne, is high-flying at the moment. The lad seems to pick up points left, right and centre. In his last several matches from when he's come back, he's got 2 points, which isn't great, but then he got 8 points and 7 points. And then he got 3 points, which isn't great, but then before that he got 16 points. So yeah, Man City are tearing apart the league at the moment. This lad seems to play 19 minutes. He is one of the best players in the league, especially on his day. A brilliant player, and I brought him in this week for Mo Salah. Sadly, I had to get rid of Mo Salah because he's gone away to AFCON. It feels not right not having him in my team, but you know, we've got to. There's no point in having a £12.5 million asset sat on your bench doing nothing, is there, when you could have someone like De Bruyne? And yes, you may say, why didn't you target a double game week player? Well, the double game week players and double game week teams, the players weren't that great. Let's say this, I would have gone with Son, but he's injured. And when I look through and I'm looking at Mount, I was thinking, I don't know, possibly I might go with him. Not any of the other players in there, like not any of the Man United players who have a double game week, because Man United have literally hit a brick wall at the moment. They can't seem to put the ball in the net. So yeah, I was struggling who to choose. I thought, let's go with De Bruyne. And he's not like a player I'm going to keep him for a week. I'm going to keep him in until Salah returns from AFCON. And if Salah has a decent run at AFCON, he can miss the next several matches. And in that time, De Bruyne plays Southampton, Brentford and Norwich after this Chelsea match. So like, come on, that is some pretty decent fixtures there to get points in. So yeah, that's why I brought him into my team. And the final two players are Rafinha. He plays West Ham. And although Leeds have been disappointing this season, but yes, they've had all their injuries, this man has undoubtedly been their best player. Countless times, he scores goals, he gets assists, he literally provides a lot for this team. And without him this season, I don't know where they would be in the league table. He's got about 7 or 8 goals in the league. He's probably got a few assists as well. He's a brilliant asset. And yes, I'm saying all this when last game Leeds scored 3 and he wasn't involved. But before that, he got 7 points, 2 points, 7 points, 5 points, 8 points, 3 points, 0. But then he got 9, 9. Like, what I'm trying to say is he's a brilliant player. Hopefully he doesn't go to a club like Bayern Munich. Hopefully he does come to Liverpool and be a backup for Mo Salah, because I am a Liverpool fan. But what I'm trying to say is he's an outstanding player. And the final player in my midfield goes by the name of Diogo Jota. So he was rested on the weekend against Shrewsbury. Liverpool do play tomorrow against Arsenal in the Carabao Cup, so it'd be interesting to see who plays. Obviously, without Salah and Mane, Liverpool will sort of have limited options in attack, but you do probably expect Jota to play this match and probably the one on the weekend as well, because he had that rest against Shrewsbury. He's a brilliant asset. They've got Firmino as well, who you could almost bring into your team. It's like a little differential punt. I think Minamino will be back now, and maybe Origi as well. They're like the main sort of like high-profile players that could play in the attack for Liverpool, and obviously you've got the youngsters in there as well. But yeah, I expect Jota to start this weekend. Hopefully he does, and I've stuck the captain's armband on him because if he's going to be involved this weekend, he's going to start. I don't think there's any chance of him being benched. And although you may say, why didn't you captain, well, Harry Kane, who I've got on my attack next, okay, that way, he has Arsenal and Leicester. I'm just thinking, I don't know, like, I don't know if Kane could score 2 goals in those 2 matches, or he could get nothing. Like, Arsenal aren't a bad side, and neither is Leicester. And Brentford just shipped 4 to Southampton, so I'm just kind of thinking, do we go with Jota? Will he steal the limelight now Salah and Mane are out at AFCON at the moment? So who knows? But he's my captain. And then, yeah, in my strike force, I've got Mikel Antonio. Big Mikel Antonio is coming to my team. He scored a goal. He's got a match against, who is he playing? Norwich tonight, so hopefully he can get me some more points. And then he's got himself Leeds on the weekend, which looks like a relatively easy fixture for West Ham. They should punish Leeds. You do expect them to do that. If they can score 3 against Palace, they probably can score 5 against Leeds. Leeds aren't great defensively, but they are getting a couple players back, I think. I think they've had a bit more players back recently. And obviously, they did do well against Burnley, but yeah. Nonetheless, he's a quality player, and maybe his form will start to pick up, because before these last couple of fixtures, Antonio's got himself a goal, an assist, etc. Before that, he went on a run of ages with not really doing anything. Look, he got 2 points, 2 points, 2 points. 2 points, 2 points, 5 points. 1 point, 2 point, 2 point, 2 point, 2 point. Like, from game week 10 to about game week 20, he literally only got like 1 return. But now he seems to be picking up his form. And like I've said, hopefully he can get some points against Leeds this weekend. And then the final player, like I've said, is Harry Kane. He plays the Arsenal. He plays Leicester. 2 fixtures there, which are not the hardest of fixtures in the world, but we all know what Arsenal can bring. a London derby as well. You know the fans are going to be up for that, although that match is at Tottenham's ground, so that's going to help them. And then he plays Leicester as well, who have been a bit hit and miss this season, but they beat Liverpool recently. They're probably going to have a good go at Conte's Tottenham. Won't be an easy fixture for either team, but, you know, that's why I'm not captaining Kane, because those fixtures there are pretty... They're sort of hard, that's what I'm trying to say. And then on the bench, I've got Guaita. He plays Brighton. I'd rather play Sarr against Southampton than Guaita against Brighton. But then on the other hand, Brighton don't score too many goals. You know, a sticky decision there, but I think I'm going to stick with Sarr. I got Tyreek Mitchell. He can obviously come on for, let's say, Johnson doesn't play this weekend, because, you know, West Ham have quite a... They have a variety of options in fullback. And then I got Tsimikas in there. I don't think he'll play. He played against Shrewsbury. Robertson played against Shrewsbury. So I expect Tsimikas to play against Arsenal in the League Cup. And then I expect Robertson to play on the weekend against Brentford. So yeah, that's why he's second bench. And then I got Locadia, who has now moved away from Brighton. He has moved to the FPL Bochum. However you pronounce that name, I don't know. But he's gone. And he's going to have to get out of my team. Because before he was doing nothing. But he was coming on for like 2 minutes here and there. Now he is going to do nothing. So yeah, he will be gone soon, sadly. Well, not sadly, but he will be gone soon when I have an available transfer, because like this week I had to get rid of Salah. I'm not going to just get rid of a player who's moved away from a club who's literally a £4 million asset. No. But yeah, that is my team right there. Jota captain, Antonio vice captain. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section as usual, and if you have enjoyed this video, do hit the like button and the subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one.